Yo guys, welcome back to LeadFoot TV. So today we are going to make a start on making a little bit more leg room in the MX5. So I have got an OMP steering wheel. I'm hoping it's a bit smaller than the box. And then I've got a HKB boss kit as well. So yeah, let's crack on and get a steering wheel in this MX5. Yo guys, so as you can see, I've already started making modifications to how well I fit in here. I've shaved all my hair off, give me an extra ½ an inch of headroom. Yeah, I got to the point where my hair was just so thick, it was just ridiculously warm all the time, so I ended up having to shave my hair off last night, which I wasn't too happy about, but yeah, it had to be done. Yeah, today we're going to be fitting a steering wheel into the MX5 because as I explained in the intro video that I did on it last time, I don't have a lot of leg room in here, so I have ordered a 300mm steering wheel. Steering wheel is from Funky Power. It's an OMP steering wheel, and it seems pretty decent, and it's significantly smaller than the massive thing that's in it at the moment. And then the HKB Boss, I bought the Boss from Driftworks. I went to them because I know that they're a genuine HKB distributor, so I wanted to make sure that I had a genuine Boss, because obviously when you're using a car on track and stuff, you don't want to skimp and scrape stuff that's holding vital components on. I don't want like bolts and stuff to snap. I've had a fake Boss on something before, and the Allen keys just stripped when I was fitting it and stuff, and it was just a bit crap quality. I just didn't want to get a fake one, so I made sure that I went to Driftworks to get a genuine one. And they come with the wires as well to turn the airbag light off, which is handy so that I don't fail an MOT when I go next time. Let's get to it and get the wheel on. So as you can see, this if my feet are on the pedals, that is where my knees sit, which isn't ideal. I literally, like, if you think about it, like when you're turning, your knees are getting in the way of your hands and stuff. It's just not ideal, so I've gonna put a smaller steering wheel in it. I've got the Boss, which will obviously probably bring it out to about where it is. I've got a feeling that I'm probably gonna need a spacer as well. I've got I think it's a 50 or a 75mm spacer at home, but I think it might be a little bit too big because I don't want to bring it out too far, because then I've got the issue with my arms hitting my sides and stuff. So I have to be kind of like proportion everything so that it all works properly without me like getting my arms caught or my legs touching stuff. So I'm gonna fit the steering wheel with just the Boss to begin with, and then if it needs a spacer, we'll put a spacer in afterwards. Let's get to it and get this original wheel off. To get this original wheel off, there is 10mm bolt either side of the airbag, so that side here. So I'm just going to undo those. So once you've got those bolts out, the airbag will pop off like that. There you go. So that clip there just wants prizing off. Basically these bits just clip over, so you just want to prize the sides off, and then the whole white clip will come off, and then your airbag will come off like that. 1/2 inch ratchet and a socket with an extension on it. It is a 21mm socket for the bolt in the middle, and you want to just make sure your keys are out the ignition so the steering lock comes on, and then it should just come off like that. You might need a breaker bar depending on how long it's been on for. Generally Japanese cars aren't that bad, but you tend to find with other stuff that the steering wheels get stuck on pretty bad. And then the best thing to do is just leave the nut on a couple of turns, and then just yank the wheel off. It'll be tight. There you go, it's pulled off. The reason you leave the nut on is just to, when you pull it, if you pull in too hard, sometimes it'll just go on you and then you whack yourself in the face with a wheel. Yeah, just leave the nut on to stop you doing that. But that is the original wheel off. So then in the kit there is this wire here, and that one is for your horn. That literally just plugs straight back into where your horn wire was. And then you've got this resistor, which is for the airbag. Unfortunately, all the instructions are in Japanese, and my Japanese is about as good as my Chinese, so I've got absolutely no chance of reading that. So I'm gonna have a quick look on my phone and see if I can figure out how to wire that resistor in, because there is 4 wires coming off it, and I assumed it would just plug straight into the end, the airbag wire, but it seems that the airbag wire only has 2 plugs in it and there's 4 wires. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what to do there, so I'm going to just quickly figure that out, and then once that's wired in, the hub will just go straight back on. So I'll figure out the resistor and then we'll pick it back up. So I couldn't find a lot online about this resistor, but basically if you haven't got the resistor in, so the wires just dangle in like that, and you start the car up, you'll see this airbag light will go off, and then this one will start flashing when it figures out that it hasn't got an airbag in. I just had to play around and I managed to figure it out, so I'll show you what I did. Basically, two of the wires are just redundant, so you can see there's actually only two sets of wires coming out, and you want the red one from one side going to the red and yellow wire, and then the black one from the other side going to the yellow and black wire, and then the other two wires just left there dangling basically. So, and then that turns the light off. If I start it up, both the airbag lights will eventually go out, and they won't come back. This one won't come back on flashing like it was before. Yeah, which is cool because it's an MOT fail if your airbag light's on. So that is one of the reasons to buy a genuine Boss and not one of the fake ones, because the fake ones don't actually come with the resistors. The Boss is about to go back on. You can see there is a little thing at the top that says it's the top, so that basically needs to go straight in the middle at the top. I forgot to mention at the beginning, before you do this, you want to make sure your wheels are straight, otherwise it'll just make it really hard work trying to get the steering wheel line back up. But basically, horn wire wants to come through that hole there like that, and then the other wire just wants tucking up behind it, and then we'll slot it on. Yeah, so that wire just wants tucking up behind. There we go. That's on there. You just want the nut. They give you a new washer and a new nut, so that just goes on in there. So the nut they give you in the HKB kit is actually 19mm instead of 21mm like the one that came off. So you'll need a 19mm socket for that. You just want to make sure it's pretty tight because you don't want it coming loose, but don't snap it. So yeah, it's on there. So in the kit they'll give you this little ring, and that basically just slots in there like that. Depending on the size of your home button that comes with your steering wheel, you might need to use that. Basically your home button will just clip in there, but it's too small for my steering wheel, and mine actually clips fine into the wheel anyway. So yeah, on my R33 Skyline, when I put my Skyline one on, I had to use that to hold the home button properly. I'm going to leave the home button out, and then we'll wire the home button in afterwards. Basically, you've got a wire, so you want a positive and a negative go into one of the buttons. It doesn't matter really which way round you put the wires. It's literally just a switch, so it connects the circuit when you push it in. So the wire coming out anyway is the positive wire, and then you want a ground wire. The positive will go to one, and then we need to make a wire for this one because it doesn't come with the kit for some reason. But yeah, you need a ground wire. I'm gonna get a spade connector for this one, and then crimp a bit of wire to it, and then we'll just earth it out onto one of the bolts on the steering hub, and that'll make the circuit, and it'll mean the horn will work properly. So yeah, I managed to actually find a bit of an old wiring kit that came with another steering wheel that I had from years ago. So I've got a wire that's already got a connector on the end. It did have a connector on this end, but I don't need a connector on that end, so I've cut the connector off and just stripped the wire back. And what I'm gonna do basically is, when I fit the steering wheel, I'm gonna try and wrap that round there, and then we'll bolt the steering wheel on. The steering wheel clamping that against the metal will create the ground, and then we'll have a wire for each one of the home buttons. Yeah, so that steering wheel on, and you can see the black wire there. I've just basically, I stripped quite a large bit of insulation off the end of the wire, wrapped it round that bolt, and then stuck the bolt in, and it's just clamped it between the steering wheel and the hub basically, and that'll create a ground for the horn. And then this is your live wire coming through. They just want pushing onto the connectors on here. Like I said before, it doesn't really matter which way around you get them, it is just a switch at the end of the day. So once you press that in, it just connects the circuit together. I'm just going to connect them in, and then it just the button literally just pushes into the center. It's just got that little spring clip at the top that keeps it tight in the wheel. Horn works. There we go. So we know the horn works anyway, so that's a good start. And then that just wants clipping in, just like that. Horn works, so that's a good sign. And then you've just got your OMP sticker for your steering wheel, so that just wants obviously sticking on straight. You're better off putting this on once it's on the car, and then you can get it looking a bit better. But yeah. Oh. So I just went to set off, and the airbag light was going off again. I was actually, before I put it together, was going to wrap these with insulation tape, the two that are hanging, but I don't have any insulation tape in the garage for some reason. I can't find any anywhere. But the light's off at the moment, but I had these tucked in together, and basically when you touch them together, the light flickers back on. Yeah, because obviously it messes with the resistance. So what I'm going to do is just cut the wires. I'm just going to cut them off so that they can't rub together. The resistor's working fine there without the two wires, so yeah, I'm just going to cut them off to stop the light from coming on. But yeah, just something to note when you put it back in, just make sure before you cut any wires off that you've definitely got the right wires into the airbag connector. But yeah, just something to note that was just really me being lazy. But yeah, just as soon as you touch them together, the light comes back on. So yeah, just cut those wires off if you're not using them, or just wrap them with insulation tape. Just that on its own has made such a huge difference. I was so cramped in here like before, and it just feels like so nice to be able to like actually move more than ½ centimetre. Yeah, I definitely suggest if you're quite a tall person and own an MX5, get a smaller wheel in it, because it feels so much better. So yeah, that's it in. I've got loads more leg room. Like, I couldn't even move my legs before. My leg was literally wedged between the steering wheel and the door handle. So I can move my legs. My knees are still hitting the steering wheel. So obviously I can't heel and toe or anything. But I think if I bring it out a little bit, it's probably going to be perfect. I think even just like maybe 25mm will probably do it. Yeah, steering wheel spacer next. And I have ordered a set of door cards from Track Car Door Cards, which are basically just flat door cards with a pull lever. That'll be nice, just having a little bit more room on the right hand side without this door handle in the way. Yeah, first step to making me fit in the MX5 has been a success. And yeah, so I'm gonna get the spacer, that'll create a little bit more room, and then the door cards, and then we'll move on to the seat, because the seats in the Mark IIs apparently are the highest sitting seats in all of them. So yeah, we'll get a bucket seat, and just going to mount the seat like literally as low as it can possibly go. Yeah, and then I should be able to drive it properly and take it on a track day, which would be awesome. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a like, and I will catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.